Hi everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Tech with Iro. I am your host, Iro Nkechi Omolola, and here on Tech with Iro, we'll dive into technology, linking tech professionals to insight one episode at a time. Today's episode is no different as we are bringing you amazing and engaging conversation that will sure inspire and educate you. As you all know, that criticism is one thing that we hold key in this tech world, and today's topic is going to be feedback or feed forward, navigating criticism as a designer. So grab your headphones and let's get straight into the topic. So we have our guest right here that will be sharing insights on this topic. Hi, Patrick.
Hi, Lola.
Yeah, so can you introduce yourself to our listeners?
First of all, it's glad to be here. I'm Ben Patrick. Ben Patrick Akalakachuku. Right. And don't ask me what Akalakachuku is. It is not yet.
Not here.
So, yeah. I'm a creative designer, creative director, visual artist as well.
Okay, so for how long have you been in this space, the tech space?
I've been in tech space, I think 2018, so it should be like 7 years.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yes, yeah.
Wow, that's great. So what's your background like? Do you have like educational background before you started tech, or it was not even related, but you just had the love for tech?
I have a background
Okay.
in terms of educational background.
Okay.
I'm a visual artist, like I said, and I spent good 4 years in university studying art.
Oh, wow.
And that gave me an insight into going into the graphic field, because then we're taught that graphic design is like the commercial aspect.
Oh.
And when they're teaching you in school, they will tell you, oh, this one you used to make money outside.
Okay.
This one you just, it's for fun,
Just
which is where I majored.
Okay.
I majored in the one for fun. So, but I mean, after school, we needed to eat, right? So we had to venture into the graphic design.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's great. So today's topic, feedback, feed forward. We just get a lot of feedbacks these days when you do work with clients. And so how can graphic designers actually protect their creative vision while still being open to feedback?
As a creative, your creative vision, while I believe that graphic designers are creative people, not just graphic designers, as long as you're in the design space, you have that power to create, right?
Okay.
But one thing we designers fail to understand is the client knows what they want. So they have to give you have to be the one to ask them a lot of questions that will give you an opportunity to create the image, the vision that they want, then present it to them. So once you do that, you can, present your vision to them, what you have seen based on what they said, then hear what they have to say, from what you have presented to them. So that's the feedback and the vision.
Okay. Have you had cases whereby you get feedback from clients and you just know that this is a no-no?
Plenty of times.
Okay.
I mean, sometimes they wish to fight, but yes, I've had scenarios like that. Scenarios. Okay. I mean, the first time, this is not what I want. This is not what I have in my mind, and I'm like, okay, tell me, what do you have in your mind? And the client is like, you are the creative here. Just be creative. And at first, starting out, I thought that was a good thing.
Feedbacks?
No, as in the client telling me to be creative.
Okay.
I thought it was a good thing, but you have your imaginations. You have what you want. You have what you want it to look like.
Okay.
And when you come to me knowing that this is what I do, and I tell you, okay, this is the best way I can interpret what you have given to me, because we don't have the same imaginations, you might not accept what my imagination is. So that is why that phrase, I feel like it's a trap for creative. To just be creative with it. No, tell me what you want.
Okay.
Then we can now work on that.
Okay, so with this response, do you think feedback is sometimes more about the client's personal taste rather than the design's effectiveness?
Okay, so it's about two things. You can look at
Okay.
it from two perspectives,
Okay.
right? Firstly, you came to me because you believe that I'm good at what I do. I mean, whether you saw my job online, somebody referred you,
Okay.
or by somehow I introduced myself and be like, okay, this is what I want to do, and I've been looking for
Someone that
to
can do
me,
it.
right? So when you come to me, you believe that I can do it. That is why you offer to that's why you needed my service at
Yeah.
first, right? So that is one aspect. So is the client being able to interpret what he or she wants, right? So I have my stand as a creative, and I'm like, when you come to me and I hear what you want, and I'm like, okay, you're in the right place, and I go to my mood board, go to my creative, space, and draw up
Something.
something, and I present it to you, and you're like, oh no, this is not what I want. The client has every right to say no, this is not what I want.
On the long run with
Yeah.
this, that means you're saying that yeah, it's no longer about the design effectiveness this time. It's about just giving the clients what he wants.
So the design effectiveness, like I said, is from two perspectives. It's no longer about when you say you want to achieve a vision, it's no longer about you, it's no longer about me as a designer or you as a client that has a project. It's about who wants to use the project, who is the
Okay.
target audience.
Okay.
So client will go ahead and tell you, I just want it to be fine, I just want it to be, colorful, I want it to pop,
Catchy,
all those
you
terms and
know.
all of that. But the truth is that even us as designers, we don't understand when client says let it pop, because while we put in our creative efforts, we want the design to have functionality, right? There are designs that can be so busy, like some clients make it big, make it this, but there's design functionality and there's design purpose, right? So the purpose of the design might not even be what the client understands it to be.
Okay.
So if Martina reached out to me and say, oh, we want to do a design ads for children, I would take what he says, but when the client now start telling me, I want pink, I want blue, I want yellow, because I'm the creative person I can tell you, okay, these colors are the colors that appeal more to children. However, sticking to your brand guidelines,
That's you negotiating.
negotiating with them, making them see it that it is not about what we want, it's about what the design is to bring to the business. So
Okay.
it's the vision. The vision is actually bigger than the client and the designer.
Oh, that's great. That's
Yeah.
great. So I would want you to be expressive on this part. Can you share a time when you received feedback that significantly impacted your work as a graphic designer, be it positively or negatively? How did you handle situations like that?
Okay.
Positively,
So
negatively.
let's start with the negative, right?
Okay.
The negative is the negative feedbacks that you get sometimes. It might, because I mean, if we are to look at the positive, we can actually dwell on positive, and then it can massage our egos as designer. One hand they accept
You
my
did it
design
well.
and all of that. But sometimes the negative feedback, if you are someone who is receptive to the feedbacks, whether positive or negative, it just shows you, okay, this thing, how else can I do it? There was a time I did a design for a company. I'm not going to mention his name. I did a design I just started working. This was 2021. I just started working because when I said I have 7 years experience, right? I like to tell people that as a freelancer, I started out on my own.
Okay.
Then I did a training. Then after the training, I got a job
Okay.
to start working. So I have a period whereby it's like a wilderness journey for designers. We are just
Okay. You
trying
just
to,
have to
yeah.
admit yourself.
So, and it was just shortly after I got the training that I now got this job with this client. And after doing the first design, what he told me was like, this design is looking like is looking like a child that did this design.
Wow.
As it's looking childish. That's the
And
word
how
he
about
used. And I felt
that feedback was insulting?
I felt like he had just taken my heart like this and just stabbed me, because I have done designs prior before meeting him and I've gotten positive feedback. But then now you're working with a brand, right? So when you said your design is looking childish, that what do I mean by this? Blah blah blah. I took the feedback. Of course, I
You'll
was
be
I
odd.
was pained, right? I mean, my steez, everything, everything was down the
Zero
drain.
steez,
but
zero
but but
composure.
not that what you said was right, that my design was looking childish, but maybe the approach was,
Well,
maybe it was something that somebody could just do on Canva. Maybe it's something that didn't really pass the message, that because it was like a steel company, right? So when he said it, I actually went back to the board and I was like, okay, let me look at it again. Then I said, okay, maybe this is what you saw, this one. And I redid the design because not to prove anything, but when the client gives you feedback and you take the client's feedback, sometimes it can build um it can build in them that this person is actually hearing my perspective and not just, oh, because he's the designer. Some clients can be overbearing, which is true, right? So negative feedbacks are sometimes they are constructive, sometimes they are destructive, but I mean it's something that we live on.
okay.
So for the
So
positive, for
let's
the
go
positive
positives.
feedback, there was a particular time I did a design, and the guy was like, "This design is nice. I feel like you're not even charging what you
You're,
want."
oh wow.
So and this was in, I think this was not so far from that period.
Oh, wow.
It was like, I mean, if he can do what I can do, he'll be in money.
Wow.
So that made me to realize that, oh, so
You're
this
doing
thing
something better.
I'm doing something better. But it did not just come because there was an improvement. It came because I actually took the feedback
Feedbacks.
from the negative people, the negative comments,
So
right?
that means it's also a good time to take feedbacks and work on it rather than just feeling this person is giving negative feedback. It's not.
There must be where we draw the line.
Oh, we
So
are coming to that actually. We are coming to
there
that
must
actually. On this perspective,
yeah.
yeah, there's this part of you where you, when they give feedbacks,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a thing for you to take the feedback and work on it, right?
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
And the part of when it's getting too much and you have to draw the line. So this moves us to the next question that has to do with when um, negative feedback is just like a constant thing.
Constant. Yeah.
How can you now like make it clear that, oh, I think this is, we all say we want this. Yeah, it's good to criticize
Yeah.
work so
Yeah.
that you can get good
Better.
product.
Yeah.
But when it comes like a constant,
Mm-hmm.
you as a designer, what's your approach this time? Because you cannot always get a constant negative feedback. Then
Mm.
something is wrong
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yes. So let's look at it. Like I would still say that it's because we are dealing. It's two people that are involved, the designer and the client. So if I keep getting negative feedback, not from one person. If it's one person, first time, okay, it's good. Second time, you now call me and say, my wife doesn't like this color. My wife, my wife doesn't. Please
Oh,
change.
that's an experience.
change. Make the logo bigger. Make no. So I mean, there is where to draw the line. If it's coming
Okay.
from one person over time, and I had someone like that. I did the work for him, and first time I did the work for him. I asked him, okay, what and what do you want on the product? And he explained, took notes down, had a physical meeting and all of that. And then I did the job. He was okay with it. And when he got home, his wife was not okay with it.
That's a couple thing.
And it's something that happens in the design field.
True.
The wife wants to do something, she tells her husband. The husband comes to us. We charge him. He negotiates everything. We ask him for the details and everything, and then we go ahead with the work. We do. I don't know if it's because he's man to man. Just guys can take anything. But when you do the job and you deliver, the next day, after you think that you have completed the project, you just come back and you see maybe a voice note, a text message. Please, I've been calling you. I've been trying to reach you. My wife doesn't like this. Make the logo bigger. Change the color. Now, that's why it's usually good. I mean, designers are waking up these days to have a contract.
Okay.
You have a minimum and a maximum time you can make corrections, right? So but if it's from one person, it is the first time, it's okay. I mean, because it's a project, people are working on a project together. If it's second time, it's fair. But once it gets to the third time, there's something not right. Either you don't understand what you want, or
The designer doesn't
I'm not
understand.
getting what you want, right? But that should have come in the first and second review.
Okay. Cases like this, my wife doesn't like the work.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's funny, but in this sense, when you
Mm,
do a product, like a
mm,
design for someone on a product,
yeah.
and um, when you are done with the design,
Mm-hmm.
it goes on and on to like sharing the design with other
Yeah.
people to
Mm.
see. Should it be a case for the designer to be more concerned about other people's feedback after negotiation with the person that like his own client,
Mm.
and you're done with the product?
So
Should it be a thing of, oh, I'm coming back later and I'm like, this person said, someone also said, someone also
so
said.
designers are not supposed to be nice. I mean, if that offends anybody, but design, designers are not supposed to be nice.
Because when it gets too much, and
Yeah.
on the long run, everybody have this their own perspective of
Yes.
how they see things. Like
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
have their perspective of things.
Mm-hmm.
So if I come and I'm looking at a design, I can say, well, to me, and this is
Mm.
me coming from my own personal
Yeah.
opinion, not really in the design effectiveness kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I feel this E should be this other side, and someone is saying, oh, this E should be in this side,
Yeah.
and and then the designer is just going
So
toss and turn,
so
trying to just,
yeah. So there's a meme that I saw online. You know, when the designer has finished his design, it's looking all prime and proper, and when after client feedback,
the
then
design.
and the designer is looking like, shit, let me design this thing like this. So
Or it's
so
another
or it's
person.
another person, and that's why I said designers cannot afford to be nice, because imagine it's you are running a restaurant, and then you buy a food, and then you go out, you now call someone, oh, come and take a spoon, and be like, no, 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 this food does not taste well. You call on that, but this food does not taste well, but you have been eating the food,
And it tastes well.
and it tastes well to you, right? And because you are frequent there, you went to buy from them. Now it will not be right to now take that food back to the restaurant, that they said your food is not sweet, knowing fully well that you have been a customer. Do you
And it's
understand?
good.
Yeah, and it's good. So they say when plenty hand cooks soup, the soup not go sweet. So that is actually the case of design, and that is why there has to be a
Time
minimum,
limit.
yeah, minimum review time or number of reviews that designer is allowed
Okay.
to. At a point, I was like that. I mean, as you can come back,
You just want
you
to
can just
satisfy the customer.
exactly, you just want to satisfy the customer, but sometimes the customers are insatiable. So
Hmm. True.
so tell me what you want from the
True.
beginning,
Clients want
and
now
now
when it
you
comes
can't
to
you can't
design.
when it comes to
So on
design.
this part, where do you draw the line between being flexible and staying true to your artistic direction?
So the brief is actually the line. The brief, first of all, it is a red flag when a client does not want to work with you through the process.
Mm.
So let's assume I am to do, you reach out to me that you want to do a brand design, brand identity. I will not just say, okay, oh, my fee is this. I call money. You just be like, okay, okay, okay. Can we do it for this price? I'll send you the money. That way, you're not positioning yourself as someone who knows what he wants to do. Because when you jump on a project that way, you lose time, you burn time, you burn fuel, you burn data, you burn everything, because the client will always come back because you didn't get anything from the client. All you were after was money, and there are a lot of persons going into the field like that because they want to make money.
And that's not you positioning yourself as a professional in the
Yes.
field.
So as a professional, when you go to the hospital, the doctor asks you questions. Oh, okay. How
You
have you
go
been
through the
feeling?
process.
Yeah.
No matter how the emergency is
No,
funny
no
enough,
matter how,
you start with opening a card.
exactly. So that is why I don't know if it's the question, but that is why do this for me ASAP is not good
It's
for a
not, yeah,
designer.
sure.
So, but again, when you do that, you as a designer, you want to ask, okay, what's this project about? That's why I said purpose and functionality. You cannot be doing like, for example, now let's use church flyers. right? And a children event. The purposes are different. The design cannot look the same. Do you understand? So if I don't get questions, if I don't ask the client questions, I might not know what he wants. So if it's a branding project, I will need to know, okay, you want to design a logo. What's the idea behind the company? Why are you starting? You know, those things that you give to me. And some clients don't want to take the pain to fill all those forms, because when you do that, you have given me enough information. I can then go and make my research. So I will not have to be calling you every time. When you give me those information, you say, okay, this project is going to take 3 weeks. It's going to take 4 weeks, right? I go back and make my research. And when I get to a particular point, I'll send to you, and you look at it. Oh, I'm not okay with this color. This, I want it to be warm. I want it to be cold. But when you just tell me, be creative with it, you put a limit on me, and I will not give
And
you what you
also,
want.
I feel when it comes to you doing all the entire contract with clients,
Yeah.
they just take their time to know how to pass the entire message
Yeah.
before giving it to you,
Mm.
because there is this contract that is binding you to,
Yeah.
you are supposed to do this, you have limited
Some
numbers
of
of
revision.
reviews,
Yeah.
you have, so the client is going to put in
Mm.
interest into the product,
Yes, it's going
because
to.
most
Yeah.
times we get to see that client gets interested
Mm.
after the design
Yeah.
has been done. You now see the entire energy of, why didn't you bring this energy in the
In
first
the
place?
first place,
Why did you not bring
it's
it?
just like doing having gone into maybe like halfway into the brand design. You
Yeah,
have
and you're
chosen the
coming.
colors, then you now come back and tell me, can we change the color? When you say change the color, what exactly do you mean? And some people are fond of, some clients are fond of this. Why feedback? The feedback we're talking about is, okay, this is not working for me. What else is not working for you? Don't give me 30 eggs and give me the crate. After arranging the 30 eggs on the crate, then you're bringing one extra egg to put it where. Do you understand? So give me the information that the project to be considered as successful. Everything I need. Don't, oh, we have 3 speakers for the event, and you have sent me the pictures, you have sent me the link, you have
Oh,
sent me everything.
true.
Then after I'm done with design, say, please, there's one speaker left. When you do that, you obstruct the entire process of the design.
True.
So that's why you see some clients, some designers get angry, and they be like, they just lash out, they just vent the anger. But if the client, so like I said, there's 2 things. If you asked, is this all the speakers that are speaking for this event? What else am I supposed to expect? The logos is coming. How many logos will be on the creative? Are there partners? What colors? Which brand and which brand? If you are maybe an in-house designer, you are going to do for this banner. You get all the details first. For me, I don't see anything as I don't see any design project as urgent, because you should have planned for it. It's just like rushing to the hospital telling the doctor, please treat this person. There's
ASAP.
emergency. But when you go to the emergency, there are other people that came before you. Do you understand? So there has to be a process for this thing. A doctor cannot do surgery for you ASAP. If he's going
At
to
least they
do,
still need to
at least
get the
they'll
equipment.
first of all know, okay, why we are attending to this, what
What?
happened.
Yes,
They
and
want
to
to know
get.
so that they can know where to focus their energy. Not that you have now treated internal bleeding. Now say no, it's not in the stomach, it's in the brain. Do you
And
understand?
time has gone.
And time has gone,
The person
resources
might
have
just
gone.
die.
The person might just die. So
True,
our,
true.
our designer should actually take that, get everything, then have your contract that finds.
Okay, so this question is actually going to be it's, I don't want to say it could be more like based on the clients, I'm talking about designers, yeah, the
Okay.
designer's personality, yeah.
Yeah.
But don't you think, like, with all these feedbacks, most especially
Yeah.
negative feedback, because it's always come all the time to designers. They're
Okay.
actually, designers could be graphics
Yeah.
designer,
Yeah.
could be creatives,
Mm-hmm.
could be product designers, and they're always like the UI face
Mm-hmm.
of the company, like they're the ones that do the UIs of products and all of that. So don't you think that designers always have these emotions? Like, they're always emotionally down, they're almost emotionally like things just weigh them, because
Yeah.
I sometimes look at, yeah, every tech professionals
Mm-hmm.
has this, you have feedbacks that you
Yeah.
get, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm talking about designer now,
Mm.
because of this entire, or especially when you get feedbacks like this from clients, it's just not it.
Yeah.
Like, what did you even do? You know, these things that will just like weigh you down. How to you now?
Yeah.
How many times do you get emotionally down?
For
Cases,
okay. So
cases like this. How many times? Especially when you're already up and you have the idea, you're done, and you send it, and you just get this is just not it. How many times you get down?
so because because it's something that is almost inevitable, right? For me, like
Okay.
I in fact, for the first 6 months when I started working, I was always down because I was getting a lot of no's. No. Imagine when you do a design, you do one, two, three, you send it like nah, it's not giving. Especially this period, it's not giving.
Like
It's
that's
not
the
it.
term.
It's
It's
not
not it.
no, there's something off about it. And you'll be like, what in
It's
the
off.
world is off? And you'll be like, there's just something off. There's just what? If you cannot point what is off, how do you expect me to see? So that alone is enough to, because like I said, it takes a lot of time. That a designer does a design fast
Mm.
doesn't mean the design can be done fast by anybody. It's just because he has mastered his craft,
Mm.
right? So, but there are days whereby you sometimes some clients don't even understand what they want. They don't know what they want. So, but when they come, the designer, because it's his job, he wants to see how every way he can break down so that he can actually get pieces of what you want and put it together. So, what drives the designer into that state of maybe, I don't want to use the word depression, but you just feel like it's not it. You're just tired and all of that. It's after doing all those things, picking all those particles of what you don't know, but you came to him, he has picked it up and put it together, and you're like, nah, it's still not it. At that point, what I used to do, I would take charge of the job, right? How do I take charge of the job? I'll close my laptop and go and eat. because
You need strength to
you need
fight.
you even need the strength. You even need the strength
Do
to
more.
to come back to that same person and say, okay, let me try again. Sometimes it might just be like, because this person does not really know what you want to go and get mood boards, inspirations from, maybe like Pinterest and stuff like that. But first of all, you need to eat. And
Food is important.
you need to, I mean, there are days whereby I've been working, and the team I work with, they are actually like that. Maybe I'm doing a task, I've sent it the first time, I've sent it the second time. And that's why it's important that your client also understand that you self, you be human being, not be AI. Right? So
You're
you'll be
not
like,
AI.
Patrick, close the laptop and go and eat. And I'll be like, that's true. I've not even eaten, because you can be so buried into the work that you forget that, oh, when you eat, creative block, jackpot,
Yeah,
stuff
true.
like that. Yeah, so I take charge of the design, take charge of the work. I tell you, okay, I'll get back to you. And I mean, you cannot pressurize me. I'll tell you, I'll get back to
And
you.
even if you praise what I can talk to,
Is Yeah, do you understand? So I'll be like, okay, I'll get back to you, and I'll get back to you when sometimes just sleep and imagine what it should look like. So I feel like that also help.
okay, so in this situation, have there been cases whereby feedback made you leave?
Leave a client. Yes, feedbacks. You stress me out.
Don't stress me.
So there was a client I knew that, and sometimes we see the red flags before even we start working with the
But you
client.
just want the money
Yeah,
anyways.
exactly. I mean, the way Nigeria is,
Just
you
the money
just
to
you just you
spend,
just want the money. At the same time, if you are like a beginner, he just wants
to show
let me he
yourself.
wants to build portfolio, he wants to get clientels and all of that. But there are times whereby you should reject a client. I remember attending one of my mentors' classes. I was 2022, so yeah, 2022. And then he said there was a question that was asked. They were like, um, "Do you reject works?" And he was like, "Yes, he rejects works."
Mm.
And he was like, "Why? Why does he reject works?" He said, first of all, after talking with the client the first time, he knows the kind of person the client is, and he just sometimes even clients that are not stressful, but you don't want to appear like you are always available, even though some clients believe that designers sit in front of their system 247,
To
which
work.
is not possible, which is not true, right? You have other things, you have other gigs, you have people that came before them, even though theirs is urgent, but there are people that have been working on projects. right? So
You're always never free.
you are always never free. So I mean, to help yourself also grow, it is good that you reject some clients, not because you don't want to work on their project, but because you might not give your maximum on their projects. Do you understand? So imagine I have 3 brands working with me and they want to rebrand, for example. Rebranding takes a whole lot. Now, another client is coming to me that he wants to do a flyer.
Okay.
Let's say he wants to do a social media flyer. I can do that in maybe like 20, 30 minutes, 1 hour, right? Max 2 hours or so. But if I give that 2 hours, is it going to affect the timelines that I have?
Or would you even have that hours to wait for their feedback?
Do you understand?
Work on their
Because
feedbacks?
yes, because that
Because
two
they're
hours,
also new clients.
yes, because that 2 hours is just you. That 2 hours is just you working on their project, not you. It's not the research part of it,
Sure.
right? It's not you talking with the client. So I mean, the time that you want to factor in. So I feel like yes, you should reject client work, not because you don't want to work on, but there are some troublesome clients that when they come to you, there was a time a client came to me, and from the first few calls, I knew it's going to be troublesome. He have not sent, he has not sent, he has not sent, he has not sent upfront payment,
He's the
like
power.
50%, 75%.
Okay.
And he's already telling me, I've told you what I want. And I'm like, Oga, you never even send me. You don't shout on my ear.
Okay.
Do you understand? So such clients, when you start their project, they are going to be a pain in your neck. So when you look at clients and be like, okay, can I manage?
So
Because
does it have to do with designers also having their own values and see who can like align with that? Because rejecting will always come from the perspective of these are my values, like not putting money as the first thing.
yeah,
Because the reason why a lot of designers just accept jobs because of the money.
yeah.
So if they're not putting money, what other thing should they look out for before they can say, "Oh, this is a no for me. This is a yes for me."
Like Victor Jalapo said something that I consider very profound. He said, I will not design for you if then he listed some things that if you don't if you don't meet up to,
criteria.
like for example, now you want to do a logo. I can't you will not just tell me design SLC logo. What is SLC? You would have to provide me with the information. So if you cannot provide me with that information, I can't work with you. If you cannot sit down with me for 30 minutes while I give you review on your job, I can't work with you. I cannot work with you if you tell me, oh, just be creative. No, you have to give me some, stuff like that. You have to, because you know what you want. I know what I can do. So when you bring the two together, we can now bring something unique, right? So there are values that you should hold as a designer, right? You don't want to stress yourself and stress the client and stress your laptop. Do you understand?
Okay.
Yeah.
So based on the feedback, as feedback made you leave, are there cases whereby you've been on the project, this one you've collected,
Yeah.
you start working on
And
it,
if I've returned the money,
and they're just
yes,
like, nah.
yes, and I will still do it again. Yes, I've been there. I one time I designed a music album.
Okay.
You should not watch this video. He's a soldier. So he's a military man. I think this was around 2021 or so. A friend referred him
Okay.
because I've been designing for my church. So he knows my design. So he referred the man. And the man happened to be a soldier who sings, right? How much?
Oh,
Maybe
wow.
maybe 4,000, 5,000. So I did the album for him. I did the first one. I didn't like it. I did the second one. Say you are getting there. I did the third one. And I said, sir, what do you want? He sent me pictures. Say he wants wings, he wants dove, he wants light, he wants studio light. I said, oh, no problem. I did it. Then he now got to a point. He was now threatening. You're not giving me what I want, blah blah blah. He now said I should refund his money. And I said I will refund your money. So what I now did, I now refunded like 50% because I've worked, I've burnt for it. And I refunded like 50% of the money. I'm not threatening that he's going to, if he see me anywhere, he's going to arrest me. But the amazing thing was after I refunded his money, right? Those designs are made, and this is where this is where designers have to be intelligent. They have to know the business part, not just the creative part, right? I didn't know this as at then. After I had given him refund and everything, he went to post the works I did.
Oh wow.
I mean, there was nothing I could do. If,
He's a
if he had, if he
soldier.
had if he had posted it before, if he had
He's
posted
a
it
soldier.
exactly, if he had posted it before I refunded and I've seen it, I would have not refunded him because he have
He has
used,
used it.
and clients are fond of that, right? Oh, I don't like, send me two samples. If you are a tailor and I ask you to make me two samples from one material, will you do it? It does not make any sense, right? So there are times where I've refunded money, and it's something that you should have your, when a client starts stressing you and starts insulting you, own have the dignity to refund their money back. Let them know that you are worth more than that money they actually pay you.
Okay, thank you for that. And what's your advice for junior designers who are often overwhelmed by criticism? How can they build their confidence? Because if you can tell cases whereby you were always
Mm.
emotionally down, how much people that are just starting out, and you know, so some persons don't even start questioning themselves. Are you
Mm.
sure design is for me? Because I've been in that case though, and I think that was I had just literally started there,
Okay.
and it was more like a girls program before I moved into the software engineering space.
Okay.
So I'll design a work and I'll show a friend of mine that is a designer. There is nothing I show him that is always interesting. Like
Mm.
everything is always at some point I'm like, this design is not for me. That was how I just used to
Yeah. Yeah.
because I'm like, you are in as much as there is this part of yeah, you want feedbacks as to this is not working well, this
Mm-hmm.
should be done well, cases like that. But when it's always coming as negative, to
Yeah.
the point that even before you show the person, you are expecting
The
the
feedback. The
negative feedbacks.
feedback.
Like you are just so expecting that. So, and you just get emotionally down and all of that. So, for junior developers, that's why I'm
Mm.
asking because on my own case, I was literally just starting out,
Okay.
and that's really I was just tired.
Yeah.
I started questioning my career. That are you sure design is for me? Maybe that was why I left it.
Okay.
So cases like this, what's your advice to the designers?
Let's call it, should I call it imposter syndrome? I think that's the word. As someone who actually faced that imposter syndrome, right? I mean, because when you go online, most times you see people that you see what people are doing. Sometimes you are intimidated. And it was Caesar's Graphics, an authority in the design space, that said design is simple. He said that because most times when we want to do a design, most times from our standpoint as designers, we just want to impress our clients. But he was like, design is simple. If you have that mindset that design is simple, automatically it drives that, that's, I don't know if it's hormone in your body,
Okay.
keeping in a relaxed state, because creativity only flows when there's freedom, right? So for me,
Creativity flows
yeah, when there's
your
freedom.
freedom.
So for me, having listened to the Caesar's Graphics, right, I took it as okay, don't be intimidated by what you see other people design. I mean, creativity can be taught, right? But when it's taught, you now have to express yours. And everybody have different methods and different ways they can express their creativity. So as a young designer, you want to look at designs from the aspect of, is this design a successful design? What makes it a successful design? Even you yourself, you should be able to criticize your work. Just like the example you gave, that you take it to people that are, you know,
Yeah,
let's use that
mentors,
have mentors,
experts.
experts, the way they will criticize your work. And that is why I think that the designers should not, there's no need to be proud, right? If you put your work out, maybe like on the NGD platform, sometimes they criticize your work, sometimes they will praise you. But take the criticism that they give to you and look at it. Say, this my design, was it really successful? What makes a successful design? Yes, the client is there. Oh, make it big, make it this, make it this. But what actually makes a successful design? So when those seniors in the design field are actually looking at your work and criticizing your work, is because they are not seeing from some of them can be very brutal, but filter it. What are they really seeing?
Yeah.
Yeah, what are they seeing? Why are they saying that this is not actually successful? You know, and look at it that way. I usually tell the designers that I relate with, and people that I've taught, right, always go back to the basics. You cannot, whether you are in the elementary phase of design, you're a pro, a master, always go back to the basics. Because there's, as an artist, now this is from artistic angle, element and principle of designs apply to anything relating to design, whether it is architectural, whether it is interior design. So how much more you that you're executing a project? Do you understand? So you must always go back to the basics. And this is why most of these seniors that are in design, they will always tell you, go and take a course, go and do this. When you do that, when you take a course, don't just take professional courses, right? Learn from them, take their course, pay for. It was like magic that my own happened, right? My friend in Abuja was taking a course and I saw what he was doing. I was like, because we both studied art. So I saw what he was doing. I was like, where did they learn this thing from? And he told me, oh, is this guy? And I was like, oh, how much did he pay? Oh, it was 20,000. I was like, oh wow. I mean, you were not the design for and maybe your design, maybe you're charging 5,000, because at then I was comfortable charging 5,000, right? Until I was able to pay for his course, that eventually now led me to getting better gig and gave me the confidence in charging better, because sometimes you cannot even charge better because you know that you are not worth. Do you understand? Your work is not really worth that. And not that you're not good, don't get me wrong, not that you're not good in terms of as a designer, but you can't even defend your work. So not until I took that course, I now said, okay, this we ask questions. I mean, it is, you pay for mentorship. Mentorship is not free. Do you understand? Sometimes pay for it. Oh, this person, yes, this person that is always criticizing my work, does he have a course? Does he have an online class? Yes, some of them can. A lot of persons just do, oh, master class graphic design. Master class, you don't use like 5 fonts, they do one design. Do you understand? Those people are not really masters. The masters, they bring out their courses like once a year. They're not doing it every week. It's not possible. People that are doing it, and if they are offended by this, is okay, right? It's true, because you say you are doing a master course, and you have used over six colors on your design. You have used over like 5 fonts on your design. A master won't do that. A master knows the rules and knows how to break the rule. So when you see them do their work, when you see them bring out their course, save up for it and register for the course. It might be expensive now, but you'll be thankful later. Especially not people that have results. I mean, the guys that I follow, their likes of Ajala, June Montage, Scissors Graphics, they have results. There are people that they can confidently charge this amount of money and the clients will pay. There was one of them that he did a job, a project, he worked on a project, and the client actually, the feedback from the client was an extra pay. This I'm doing. You do this work where I don't add extra 10K, I don't add extra 20K for one design. So it is all about, is not what they are really saying. Yes, what they are saying sometimes can be hurtful, they can be brutal, but you want to go back to learn. Always go back to learn. Go back to the basics.
So they should be strong and not always like feel so
They should be inspired and not
Oh.
intimidated.
Inspired.
Inspired. So if you see a work like someone, I think it was one of the mentors there, was like, first of all, copy
Oh,
directly. So if you want to steal,
exactly.
steal, there's still like an artist, right? But first of all, learn how to steal. Artists, they'll take this and make a work, but you're not yet on that level. So you want to try, if you're a beginner, you're just starting out, you want to try to get a prototype and try to do exactly. Then when you do it, that when you have gotten the work to look like what the example that they have, try to now do, okay, what other layout can I use on this particular design? What other colors can I use apart from this one? How can I make it different? Now that's just one design, but you're trying to represent it in different ways. So I mean, when you do that repeatedly, then you grow.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
That was really expressive. Thank you.
Mm.
And so, this is the last question actually. So generally, the topic has been on feedback, feed
So
forward. So generally, let's talk about growth. How will feedback help you grow, and growth in general for um,
as a designer,
designers.
okay. So growth in general, right? I never knew that as designers you should read.
Oh wow.
I'm telling you, like when I mean read, not just anything, read about designs. Read about designs. Actually growth happens not externally, like what we just said now, from
Inside.
mentors and all of that. When you get feedback, how do you take feedback? There's a lot empathy has to do with the designers, right? It will actually help you feel what this person is saying, and then you want to make effort, but it has to come from inside. What do I know? Judge yourself. I can put light here, I can put this background, put text. What do you know about font pairing? What do you know about colors? So you have to deliberately learn, deliberately read about these things, right? Because those people who you admire, we should not just admire their results, we should admire
The
the
process.
process that they took. I mean, it was one of the guys I was saying that he worked in a printing press for maybe like 2 3 years before he started working with the companies working. And you see he's working, that this person did not just is not just designing, he's passing a message. You can see it, you can visually look at it and be like, oh, this makes sense, right? So you want to grow as a designer, you learn, take courses, watch tons of YouTube videos, and then learn to judge your work and accept your creativity, right? Because if I show everybody my work and they give me their own opinion, am I confident in the work? It's one thing if everybody give you opinion. This color, no, because designers we are like that. My friend always tell me, he tell me, come look my work now. As I look at his work, I will always have something to say because we are both creatives.
And yeah, and you're seeing it from your
For my
own
own
perspective.
my own creative lens, right?
Okay.
Now, but growth is when you can hear a feedback and choose not to take it.
Hmm.
That is also a form of growth. You be like, if I do this thing that this guy is saying,
To
it
affect
will because it's like you are
effectiveness.
sewing, right? So there's a pattern, there's a movement. So you have followed your process. Or maybe you alter it, except it's breaking a principle.
And you're
Except,
trying to fix it.
yes, so that's why I said that's how you judge a successful design. Your principle, your elements. This text, this font pairing, you can actually change the font. This font is not communicating the emotion it's supposed to communicate. And those, but now coming to say, no, this guy should have not used this picture here. No, he is the creator. Allow him. You don't correct an artist while he's painting, because you can't see the image he's seeing. It is when he's done with the work, then you come and look, then you ask him, okay, tell us why
You use this.
you use this. But when it comes to graphic design, so graphic design, you have, or design generally, there's the art part and there's the design that's supposed to communicate. So, but the bottom line is, you should be able to get a feedback and say, no, this is why I did this, this is why I did this. Sometimes I think there was a point whereby one of my colleague was correcting, and she was like, no, I'm not here to for you to always change what I'm saying. Defend your work. Why did you put this here? So that's like a form of growth, right? You want to say, okay, I think it's best we leave it this way
Because.
because
Hmm.
I think this color is best because the color actually communicates the brand message and the brand tone. So, but that comes from a depth of learning. It comes from a depth of, you making research. So, as a designer, you just have to. It's inevitable. You just have to. You just have to grow.
Oh wow, 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 wow. Thank you so much. It's
Yeah.
been an amazing conversation.
I mean,
And I'm really, really certain that the people out there listening,
yeah,
they've actually gained one or two insights,
sure.
it's not for you to hear this episode. It's for
Mm-hmm.
you to also work on what you heard so that you can see the growth on your own journey
Yeah.
as a designer majorly. So we have come to the end of this episode. Feedback or feedforward, navigating criticism as a designer. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Patrick.
Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you so much.
Yeah.
So, guys, thank you for staying till this time. And please do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram, YouTube, on Twitter, and on LinkedIn at Tech with Hero. Stay tuned for our next episode. For now, bye.